everyone, Amanda here, just sharing some of my weekend projects. I made some embellishments for journals using some dried flowers. So the main one I wanted to use was this beautiful orchid head, which I'd taken from a Mother's Day gift. I've managed to dry it out and I'm going to sandwich it between acetate and book page. Acetate's inexpensive if you use it frugally, and I am backing it with book page rather than more acetate, and the reason for that is to be frugal and also it's less messy. If I get any glue or any signs of dirt or anything on my acetate, it just for me spoils it. And the reason I'm not using the window sheet like you recycle from envelopes is because the flower still has a little bit of bulk, and the acetate being thicker will help reduce that bulk and press it flat for me. So I've got some vintage dictionary page here and my acetate, and I'm just going to see how much acetate I need to cover that flower head because it's quite a big one. So I'm just cutting it to size, and then I will arrange the petals exactly how I want them so that it lies nicely in my sandwich of acetate and book page. So probably faff about for a little bit getting that right. And then I'm going to use the sewing method, which means I don't have to use any glue, so I've no fear of getting all splodges on my acetate, which, as I say, I don't like the look of it. So I wanted to do a method where that you don't need any glue. So cutting it to size, you can cut your acetate with your trimmer, just use your scissors, and because it's going in a journal, it doesn't matter if it's not a perfect square. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and then we're gonna go and sew it on the sewing machine. So here we are. I've sewn all the way around with my sewing machine, and that is nice and flat now. It's lovely. I like the look of it. I just need to trim it off to make it look a bit more even. And what I also do, I think I do on this video, I'll just sand over the edges with a craft sander or use an emery board just to make sure that none of it's sharp, so it's not going to hurt anybody. You know, if you're adding it to your journals, lots of things you can use these for. You can add grommets and make embellishments. You can add them to pockets. There you go, I'm sanding the edge so it's not sharp for anybody. Add them to pockets, make them into tags. I'm going to make mine into a large tag. There's some smaller ones that I've made with some just little blossoms from the tree in my garden. I'm going to turn this one into kind of like something, just a piece of interest to lift in and out of a pocket maybe, or a tuck spot. And obviously the smaller ones you can add to snippets, you can put grommets on them and make them into dangles and charms, lots and lots of different things. So I'm using, so I want some wording at the bottom, so I'm taking some from the Butterfly Blue kit from Artie Mays and just pinching some of that to make it look like kind of like a specimen, like it's been collected. I'm just going to decorate this further. So that one, it says, it just says a number. It makes it look like a specimen. I do love these, just kind of random little things that you can add onto your journals. Adding some purple coloured ink. It's actually a lavender colour, so that it matches in with the flower. And then that'll sit in my box. I've not got a specific journal in mind for it yet, but I just wanted to use these flowers up and get them into some form of embellishment that I can then go through my box of bits and bobs that I've made myself, rather than just relying on just digital images. Trying to make some of my own, although, you know, I love my digis. So I'm having a look through my words here. I've got a collection of them, see which one I want to add to my embellishment there. Looks like faffing. I couldn't quite decide which one to use, but I've got lots and lots and lots. I have a variety of them already in an envelope. Tip them out and see what you want to make. So there we go. Look like I've come up with some bits and bobs there. And this is a little tag and a little word that I've purchased from My Porch Prints. I'm just using some leftover washi tape to put a bit of background on it. It was just a leftover one, and I love using leftover bits and bobs. My brain sometimes will remember what I've got, and I'll think, oh, I'll use this and I'll use this. And sometimes, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just start crafting, and I have a look in what I've got, tip it on the desk and make things. And that's what I did this weekend. I wasn't crafting for a reason, I was just crafting to build up my own stock of things that I've made myself. Okay, so I'm roughing the edge of that with my scissors. I do have a distress tool, but I'm not keen on it. So I'm just layering that up. I think at this point I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. It was one of those where I chop and change my mind. I'm using my 3-in-1 glue there. It's the Beacon. It's fast drying. It's the reason I use it, as opposed to you know, wet glue. Some of the cheaper versions of PVA are awesome, but they can take a long time to dry and they can make things wrinkle. So this is my choice of glue at the moment until I find another one that I like better. So I'm also looking for a small word to go there, and I've chosen a black word so that it stands out against, there's a lot of book page there and a lot of pale background, so I wanted it to stand out, and I've chosen the word believe. Okay, and that 3-in-1 will stick on the acetate, and if you're very, very careful and don't add too much glue, it won't go on the acetate and show in a sticky mess. So I was thinking initially that I'd put a grommet in it and then add that little tag as an embellishment. So I did actually punch my hole, and then I think I changed my mind because I decided it was going to be too large to dangle from there, and it was going to be cumbersome, and I think I ended up changing my, well, I know I did because I made it. I ended up changing my mind, but I did use this lovely lilac coloured satin ribbon, which my lovely friend Eileen sent me. I do use everything that people send me. I'm quite lucky. I get quite a few crafty gifts with bits and bobs in that people give me to use in my journals, and this was a gifted one. Beautiful, beautiful ribbon. It didn't want to stick, I remember. It didn't want to stick, so I had to sit and hold it for a while. But I just like how we've got mixtures of textures there. Obviously we've got the petals, we've got book page, we've got the acetate, which is quite hard, and then we've got that, just the little touches of fabric with the ribbon, and I think I do add some cheesecloth later as well. So I'm gluing that straight on at an angle to make it look like it is dangling off without actually dangling off, because I didn't want it flapping about. So it's coming along nicely. And then I remembered I had some charms that I could have used, but never mind. I decided that I needed there was too much paper, so I found a little scrap of lace, and I'm just adding some lace to the bottom there, just to soften it and add different textures. I also like to use up scraps. If I've got things on my table, I'll think, how can I add that, and I will add it. So I'm putting my word back on, re-gluing it on, and that is that little embellishment complete. As I say, I can add that to my journals, to a pocket, a tuck spot, or something like that. And I've made that completely myself. So there you go. And those are the 2 smaller ones as well, to just give you some ideas of lovely embellishments, and hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.